Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. I'm Dazza. We're going to talk about the Spurs game coming up, preview. I've got my old mucker mate, Pete, who's on. He's a massive Spurs fan. God rest his soul. No, God bless his soul.
Easy
Yeah.
now.
But Pete's on to give us a preview of the upcoming game. Pete, first time on the show, you know.
Yeah. What a privilege. Can't believe you
Yeah.
asked me finally after all these years.
Well, we've only been going for 3 years, so I thought I'd leave the
Finally got
best
round to
for
me, huh?
last. Yeah. Well, we like. I mean, it's more. The I like these zooms, but it's much better when you're kind of in the pub. But there's not too many Spurs fans that live in Austin, Texas, and if they do, you know, yeah, we don't really want to, chit chat that much to him. And I know you're a big Spurs fan, so I'd rather have you because you talk sense. But
Yeah. I'm sure you've had that one Arsenal lad on who we
Gabby, Ga-
remember fondly, who
oh, your mate
selflessly
that travelled the world.
traveled the world.
Yeah, taking money from people.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, so
Go on
a,
then.
a massive summer for you lot. I mean, you lost Kane,
Yeah. Who?
Son's your new captain, and then you get a new manager. So let's start with Kane, because I know we went back and forth, thinking is he going to stay? Because did he want Shearer's record? I just think, I mean, from my perspective, is he wants to win trophies.
Is it over to me now?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you're right about the will he stay, will he go being the Alan Shearer record, because a lot of people were saying before he got the Spurs record, he's going to go. And I said, what would you rather have when you're telling your grandkids in 40, 50 years' time? Would you rather tell them you won an FA Cup or that you're the Tottenham Hotspur all-time leading scorer? Obviously, it would be B. So I wasn't sure whether he'd want to go for the Premier League record or not. And I think with the trophy thing, I don't really think he's that bothered about it. I think he just needed a change. I think he was just a bit stagnant, and I think he just fancied something a little bit different. So
do
we'll
you think?
see.
Well, I mean, I think Levy got the most out, money wise. I mean, it was what 100 mil.
Million. He just turned 30, I think.
Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, it's not as good as 200 million from the Saudis for Salah, but it's close. I mean, he's got many years left in him. It's just that ankle issue that he's had the last couple of seasons. I mean,
Yeah, but that hasn't really flared up for a couple of seasons. I mean, he didn't miss many games last season, I don't think, from what I can remember, or the season before. No, I think he's probably got 2 or 3 really good years as a striker, and then maybe 1 or 2 years as a you know midfielder, sort of spraying passes around from the sort of halfway line sort of type character. I don't know.
yeah, he's been a great forward for you lot, coming through the ranks and everything. But I think Spurs needed a change as well.
Yeah,
Some freshness in there, and I really do like. I like the look of Spurs. I've always loved Son. Like, he's some player, and I know Klopp is a massive admirer of him. He's the same, isn't he? Isn't he like 29, 30?
a little bit younger. I think he's about 2 years, a year and a half younger, 28, 29. And he had a really bad season. Obviously, what's the swearing situation? We're allowed to swear on here or not really?
Oh, you can swear just as long. Try and leave the C words and the
Yeah.
T words out. But yeah.
Yeah, he had a shit season,
Oh no, God, I've got to delete that.
and that was afterwards we found out that half of that was down to his being injured.
Hmm.
and then half of that was down to him playing under Conte and Mourinho, I think, and not really being able to do his thing. So, playing up front now and being captain, we're just seeing the old Son back again.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility to be captain, of any team. But it just seems like the shackles are off of him. I think Conte was, it's the Italian in him. He's a bit too defensive. Mourinho's kind of the same way. Um, did you find was it a shock when the new manager? I cannot pronounce his name worth the shit.
Kewley.
Him too, yeah. Was that
Yeah,
a shock? You look
yeah,
at
I
the
think it was
Scottish
a little
League.
bit.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I think
Scottish League only has really two teams in it, doesn't it? Celtic and Rangers.
yeah,
Um,
sometimes Hearts as well, isn't it?
yeah,
Um,
once in a while. But was it a shock? I mean, I think it's good for Spurs that you didn't go for another so-called big top 10 manager.
yeah. Um, I was always, I would have been okay with Potter, funnily enough, before he went to Chelsea, but after that disaster, that was a no from me. He was shell shocked. He needed some time away from the game. I don't even know who's he managing now. I can't even.
No one.
No one. So that's what he needed. Yeah, some time away from the game. Count his money, and
Spend, yeah, spend.
and I was not an advocate for Poch coming back. I have to say, to me, that's done. He had a great spell. He did good things, and he's gone. He's off. You don't bring someone back. Maybe you bring them back in 20 years' time, when they've done the other stuff around the world or whatever. But you don't bring him back 2 or 3 seasons later. It's not going to work. And now you see him at Chelsea, and he looks like a sort of different. He's looks like a sweaty mess. You know, he's
Deer
just
in the headlights. I mean,
yeah,
well, anyone that goes to Chelsea has got to be looking behind them constantly.
yeah.
They're a mess. They're trying to play FIFA football at the moment. I mean, Bowley's he just thinks, I'll spend this amount of money and we'll win. Or his ego's just too big. He just wants
He's
to
been watching
spend.
Ted Lasso or something like that, or Welcome to Wrexham, hasn't he? And
Yeah,
he's, this is what it's a bit of a fairy tale. I'll go over there and we'll mix up Ted Lasso and Welcome to Wrexham, and what we'll have is everyone's going to love Chelsea. Everyone hates Chelsea, mate, and
yeah,
everyone hates you.
including me. Yeah. So what do you think has really changed, like in positions, tactics? Because you do look. Yeah, I mean, I kind of think it's like the same as Liverpool. We we've lost Henderson and Fabinho. That core piece of that our midfield, and we brought in this freshness where it's like Liverpool 2.0. Do you feel kind of the same with Spurs now?
Yeah, I think that the tactically, if we just talk about Conte, because I don't want to go back too far, because I'm going to start talking about Mourinho, and we all know how I feel about that idiot. Um, so I think that he was just a completely different footballing brain than our current manager. So you're talking about almost two extremes: the defensive, you know, keep a clean sheet and then take it from there sort of vibe. Um, and well, basically playing counter attack, and then you've got the new guy, what he likes possession and playing out from the back, and get people up front, get people in the box. Two completely different ways of playing. One's more Spurs, and one wasn't, and that's what happened. When you put players under that sort of that defensive sort of pressure, it can only end in one thing, I think, and they they kind of implode.
Mm-hmm.
You see it with Mourinho teams and I guess Conte teams, and I can't think of whoever else, but they're good normally for 1 or 2 seasons, and then the wheels come off, sort of thing. Well, we didn't get one. We didn't get those 1 or 2 good seasons. We just got the wheels coming off. pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like like I'll say again, just reinvigorating to see, you know, especially for yourself, Spurs fans. You've got to be going, when are we gonna actually get our act together? Um, but again, the shackles are off, and I really like the press conferences as well. Yeah, Kajagoogoo, manager.
He's good,
um,
man. He's a
he's
good guy.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
he's funny,
yeah,
but he's direct as well.
yeah. He's you can just tell that he's a nice bloke, and the players like playing for him. Whereas they probably liked playing for the last couple managers because they were, well respected and all that. But I don't think they like the style of play. So when you've got a nice guy and he's letting them play the way they want, yeah, you get the results. Um, I'm surprised at how well they're doing. I'm surprised that they matched Arsenal. In fact, actually, I think we probably should have beaten them on Sunday. I think that we had them, you know, at, on the back foot for most of the second half. Um, but then I suppose they're thinking, oh, a point away from home is a good result. And they sort of took the foot off the gas for the last 10, 15 minutes and settled for the draw. That's the way I saw it. I think a couple of bad decisions went against us that could have changed the game. The penalty, I think, was 50-50. And I think that one of their players should have probably got sent off. But, these things happen. Um, we've had a couple bad decisions go against us so far, penalty wise. Um, and another day we could be 6 wins out of six. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're doing well. You
What's
know,
your thoughts on Madison? Because for the last couple of seasons for Leicester, he's been hit and miss. Like he's been on the border of like he could become
yeah,
really good.
I think that he's one of those players that he's got the all the skill. But if he was having a bad day or the team were having a bit of a bad day, then he would just switch off a little bit. And you could say that's unprofessional but they're only human beings. They react to their environment. So I think there was some times where he probably didn't put as much into a game as he could or should. But
Mm.
when you're with players that are of equal quality to yourself and you're winning, it's all gravy, isn't it? Well, let's see what happens if they do hit a little bad run, a little patch of bad form or something like that. And
Well, I
let's
mean,
see.
we all know confidence is a massive thing. Whether you're a DJ, whether you're whatever job you do, and you're confident. We have Nunes. Everybody was calling him a flop after last season, and now he's banging him in. And that's confidence. And I think that's kind of the same thing with Madison as well. It's just
Yeah.
get confidence, and then I saw, like after the game, I like what he was saying about Saka.
Oh, it was brilliant. He went
Taking
up. He went up like 2 or 3 notches in my estimation at that
yeah,
point. That was
taking the
class.
Mickey out of Saka's, goal celebration after Madison had just done it. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
no, it was
like that in
absolutely
players.
priceless what he said. Yeah, he went up a couple of notches in my estimation, like I said. Um, but I think that when we get we've still got a couple players injured. Well, our main injury is Bentancur, obviously,
Mm.
and I don't know if you remember his performances in the World Cup before he got injured, but he was kind of running the show for Argentina in some of those big games, a couple of those big games.
Mhm.
Um, I saw him improve from last season's displays to like into a world class player in a couple of those games, and then he got injured. So I'm interested to see how he comes back and whether it gives us a bit more.
And what's your thoughts on Richarlison? Because to me, he's got the most punchable face in football. I cannot stand him. I mean, obviously the Everton roots. I
He's
mean,
got a face a bit like it's funny you should say that you like to punch him, but I think he does look like Punch from Punch and Judy, doesn't he?
he does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You hit
Um,
the nail on the head with that one. Yeah,
uh,
I'd crack him a few times.
yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh. I think every team has their pantomime villain. He actually looks like a pantomime villain. Um, and I think that he's just someone who wears his heart on his sleeve. Apparently, he's from a very poor background. Kicking. He used to kick a piece of pig's heart around in the street when they were little kids, and
Barefoot,
with
barefoot,
uh, with some tape that they'd
up,
pulled off some boxes that had been delivered by Amazon to some rich people's houses and stuff like that.
uphill,
Yeah,
uphill, playing
and
football uphill.
no, apparently he used to walk 87 miles a day to go to training, and then he would just polish everyone's boots, sort of thing, and never get a kick of the ball for like 10 years. So he's been through it, that lad.
Yeah,
He's just I don't know. Sometimes I think, here we go. He's in the game. He's gonna turn it around, and then something happens, and it's back to you know.
when he thought when
Gordon
he
took his shirt off a couple of times.
yeah, that was a bit daft. And then
I
Jota
mean,
went
he was. I mean,
up
he
to
just
the
the lad just wanted to score so badly, and then I mean, to take your shirt off and go jump into the crowd, and then to see it being offside, it is pretty ignominious. But hey,
well,
you
no,
know
it wasn't offside. Remember,
what happened? He
he, he
got
he scored in like the 91st minute to make it. I think it was 2-2, and then we got the ball down, and Jota scored after
oh, okay,
Jota
against you
probably should have
guys,
been sent off, for his high boot.
right? But
Yeah,
okay, well, I'm talking. There's a couple of times where he scored, pulled his shirt off, went running into the crowd, and both goals were given offside and taken back. So yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
yeah. Well, it can
All
happen
done
to
it
him.
though. I mean, one of the times I've taken my shirt off and I've done a brilliant mix and sort of gone running into the crowd and
And the
you
and the seas just parted,
yeah,
and everybody tells you to put your shirt back on.
yeah, and sort the mix out.
So what do you think for Saturday then?
Well,
What's your prediction for Saturday? Because I mean, both teams are playing well. I mean, you're in fourth place with 14 points, where second was 16.
I think
Um,
it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a tight game. Oh, there's a mosquito over there. Um, I think. I mean, my prediction for the Arsenal game was 2-2, straight
yeah,
up, and that's what it ended up being. If I had to make a prediction for this game, I'd be tempted to go 2-2 again, actually. I don't want another draw. We're at home with a slight hint of optimism and bias. I'm going to go 3-2 to Spurs.
fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, I don't do like prediction like goal wise. I think it'll be a really really good match. Obviously we've been letting goals in first, and that's a problem that we're
Yeah.
having. I think there's only one match where we scored first, so that's a massive problem for me. We've got our back line probably needs to be a lot tighter. I think the high line against you lot will we need to step back, 5 to 6 yards. It looks like Trent won't be available for Saturday. Uh,
Okay.
so Gomez will probably be playing right back again with
Is he
Canote.
injured?
Yeah, he's had a hamstring before the international break.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought he might actually get a run out against Leicester, but
Right.
he's not in that squad. So I just doubt he'll be playing.
I'll try and
Um,
kill this mosquito. Hold on.
get that mosquito, Pete.
I think that's a dead mosquito.
So you're going 3-2. So yeah, lots
I'm
of
going
goals.
3-2, and I think it'll be a open, interesting game. The only thing I really ever want in a game, other than it being a good game, is the refereeing decisions to be fair, or at least if there's some fuck ups, let them build for both sides. Like even just don't be one way or the other. Because I don't like winning that way, kind of, and certainly don't like losing that way.
Well, I mean, they're officiating the VAR still. I
I
just don't
think
understand how they get these things wrong. Every season they seem to be changing the offside. Every season they seem to be changing the handball. It's just getting
I don't know
ridiculous.
why they just don't literally have match of the day running during the games, and they could just go to the match of the day studio and ask Lineker, Righty, and whoever's in the studio, and let them decide. They know way more than the guys in the VAR room. Well, they
Well,
think
they
they
seem
do.
to be half asleep anyway, those people. They've made some terrible decisions, and we're only, what, 6 games in. So,
Yeah,
for a lot of teams. So you're going 3-2.
yeah,
I think we'll beat you. Um, I just do. I think it'll be close, like you just said. I just think our confidence level is up.
yeah.
Um, uh,
Nunes is banging them in. You've got two good goal scorers playing in form right now, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I mean that's the really good thing about Liverpool is like we've got 5 forwards that we can interchange. You
Yeah,
know, which a lot of teams can't do that. The midfield looks so much better. Slobosly and McAllister have fitted right in.
yeah,
I was a bit, I thought we would bring in a proper defensive midfielder, and then we brought in Endo from Stuttgart, the 30-year-old Japanese lad. Um, that was a bit of a shock. He must have thought that because he played the first 2 matches he played, we were down to 10 men in both matches. He must be thinking, do Liverpool actually play with 11? But
I've
he
seen him
stood.
play for Stuttgart in the past, and he's been pretty solid. That guy. I mean, he's a good
Yeah.
player.
Well, I mean, you've got to think, if one of the best managers in the world wanted him, then there's obviously a player in there. He's captain of Japan as well. So,
Right.
and Gavin Birch is getting a look in now. So, I think our midfield is looking so much better. I would say our right side is still a bit of a weakness that Spurs can exploit. I mean, Son still at, whatever age he is still fast, ball over the top kind of worries me. So I'm like you, I'm looking forward to us. I always look forward to us playing Spurs. It's always an entertaining game, but, hopefully it's a fair one. Because there has been some issues with the refereeing when we've both played each other. I could say the Kane one that he took out nearly broke Robbo's ankles. He should have been sent off for that. Robbo got sent off.
Yeah.
Uh, so and then some of the VAR decisions have just been ridiculous. For both teams. So hopefully it's a fair game, and I look forward to it. So I want your top 4 predictions for the season and who's getting relegated. Let's start with who's getting relegated because I know.
Well, Luton, obviously, I think that it's fair to say that uh, Sheffield United, um, and then I'm not going to just go for the 3 teams that were promoted. I think that's just too obvious. I think so. As a wild card, it's going to be either Everton or Fulham.
I would like Everton just because you know why.
Yeah,
Um, in the last 2 seasons they've been so close, and
yeah.
the final day they've kind of got over the line.
Sean Dyche to get my nerves.
Well, it's one where I'd like them to go down for a season, just for a season. I don't want them to do like a Leeds where they get lost and they don't come back up for 10, 15 years. I'd like them just to go down for a season and then come back up. But yeah, mine's Luton, Sheffield United, and Everton, of course, but I think Everton will probably do the same and stay up again. But yeah,
No.
your top four, because it,
Um,
it's just crazy, everybody thought United were going to hit the ground running. I think people thought Chelsea were going to, Chelsea supporters think they were going to win the league. Well, they won the transfer league, so hats
yeah.
off to them. But yeah, your top four.
Well, I think that um, UEFA will finally grow some balls and hit Man City with all the charges that they've been totting up against them, and they're going to get 20 points deducted, and
But
so that'll be
that'll be in like 3-4 years, though. Come on,
yeah.
we
I'm
all, we
joking.
all know. We all know what.
I'm
And
joking, of
plus,
course.
did you see the report the other day where the UK government had been talking to, is it the Qataris that own
Yeah.
City or
So
Dubai? Yeah, the government were talking about all this. So, I just feel like they're going to get slapped with a massive fine. Then, don't do that again. Because
yeah,
it's just going to be held in court, isn't it? Like, just going to
yeah.
revolve court. So, I
Oh,
don't think.
so that was wishful thinking. I'd like to see that happen, but it's not going to. So
Yeah.
obviously, forget about them. They're going to win, I think.
Mhm.
So it's just about second, third, and fourth. I think Arsenal will be up there. I'm not sure I don't think they'll be second. I think Spurs will be in there again. I don't think they'll be second, and I think Liverpool will be up there. But so I suppose I'm going to say City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I just think City are just too good. They
I
really
suppose
are.
we've forgotten about Brighton. Brighton. I mean, you can't write them off, but you think that at some point they're going to go on a bad run and cut a little
Well, you
come.
also got to think that they're in Europe as well. Same with Newcastle. This is the first time that they've been in Europe, so they're
Yeah,
playing twice a week. So it's going to be tough for them. So I
yeah,
just think,
that's a big reason. I think Newcastle haven't got the squad yet, and I think Brighton haven't got the squad yet. So I might be again being a little bit biased, saying that we're going to get fourth, but I think third and fourth will be between those four clubs: Spurs, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Brighton.
yeah, I'd go with that. Who do you think your player of the season is going to be?
Madison probably, if he carries
Yeah.
on playing the way he is. Yeah, and we've had a few players playing really well. Basuma's playing well, and a couple of the new guys. Udogi's been playing really well, and Son obviously, but I think Madison.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the thing, with our players as well. If we're going to have a good season, you got to limit the injuries. That's the issue, and I'm sure you're the same with Spurs. Like Madison, he's got to stay fit for,
yeah,
75, 80% of the season, and we're the same. Like we've had an amazing player in Thiago who just cannot stay fit,
yeah,
and my whole thing was like, if you can't play more than 15, 20 matches a season, he's got to go, you know, it's
yeah.
just, that's your bread and butter. So,
He's
but
getting on a
yeah,
bit though. Surely he must be in his.
they're
Uh,
31 or 32 now. Yeah.
okay,
And,
okay.
and on 200 grand a week. So, and he's still not, I think he got a hip replacement or something, but it keeps flaring up, and we might see him in a month or so. But I mean, when he comes back, it's a good option. But again, it's how long he can stay fit for. Can he play 3 matches in a row, which is barely he can. But yeah, but Saturday, I'm looking forward to a good match. Maybe.
Sad thing is about Saturdays that I'm probably not going to be able to watch the game
Oh,
because I'm going to be in the San Siro watching AC Milan versus Lazio
ah,
because I'll be with my mate Albie and he's always wanted to go to the San Siro and we happen to be. I'm just going out to Italy to see him because he's stationed there and he wants to go. So I've had to bite down hard on the bullet and say, yeah, let's do it. So I'll be watching highlights, I'm
That's not
afraid.
a bad no. That's not a bad thing. But if you're into DJ music, house music, or indie stuff, Pete is an amazing DJ. He's traveled the world, God knows how many times over. He'll actually be over in the States for a month in November and December. Hopefully, he's going to come visit me in Austin and enjoy our hot and humid weather, and have a few bevies with me. And
I look forward to it, mate.
yeah, as always. But thank you everyone for listening. Please like and subscribe. Look out for my interview I did with Leroy Thornhill. He's an Arsenal supporter, but he's really down to earth on it, and it's part of the football and music episode I did. So look out for that. Few things in the pipeline, so we'll keep you posted. But until next time, we'll see you later.